Hi guys, this is Gadget Man 404 and today I'm showing you my FPV setup on my Hubsan X4 Desire, or the H502e. Now today I've got a bit of a gap in between calls. I'm a nurse in the community, so I thought I would come somewhere where I go flying when I have a break and do this video for you guys. So obviously the Hubsan is stock motors. Now you can get, if you go to the micro warehouse or micro motor warehouse, which I believe is based in Australia, the guys from Australia, you can change these motors to higher torque motors. The only problem with that is the flight times. You're only getting something like 100 hours per motor, which isn't many flights when you're doing, 10 minutes a flight. 60 minutes is an hour. So, that's, yeah, you might think, oh, 600 flights, that's a lot. But in reality, it isn't, is it? And I bought some motors and they didn't last more than 3 flights before one of them went. And then it was such a hassle to send it back to Australia that I never bothered. So let's just show you the setup. This is the bog standard 720p version. This is the H502e. Now what I've got is a generic CMOS camera on the top. This was off eBay and it is 600 TVL. It's a 1 in 3 CMOS lens sensor and it cost about £5 for the whole thing, which I thought was really good. So that's the camera, and the receiver that I'm using is a Eachine VTX03. Now this is a changeable wattage, if you like milliamps or milliwatts. It goes from I think 25 to maybe 50, 150 and 200, or it might be just nothing to 50 to 200, or there's a few variations. I think it could be 50, 25, 100 and 200, something like that. And how you change that, now if I can just find it, there's a button at the back. I'll just try and zoom in on that button for you. So there's a little button there. You hold that in for a few seconds and it will flash through the cycles of the bands. So then you leave it on whatever band you want it on, and then you hold it in, go through the cycles of then go into the channels, and then you get to the number you want, and again you just let go and it will remember. Now every time you connect a battery to the receiver, and it takes just a 1S micro lossy style connector, what happens is it remembers the settings, so you don't have to keep changing the settings every time. So if you set it to F1 at 200, then every time you connect the battery it's set to F1 at 200. So that's quite a handy thing. You don't have to keep setting it up every time you use it. Now at present, the last flight I did for you guys was about 250 odd meters. Flight is on my channel, check it out if you've not already watched it, and it is FPV flight with the Hubsan X4 Desire, or the H502e. It's about 6.5 minutes, heavily edited, because when I did the test flight that was over 14 minutes with a heavier battery. But I think I did FPV with just the stock battery, and it's not powering the camera, so one battery does the camera, one battery does the quad, and I find that works really well. Now the only problem I have is, you would think you'd get better signal if the aerial, I'm just trying to do it for you now guys, if the aerial was sticking out like that. Now I did that and I was getting breakup. Now when I had this rigged up on my 3X, the best way was I rigged it up like I think it was sort of that way up, with the aerial actually pointing up. So the next flight I will do is going to be with this setup. So it's going to be like this. So the aerial is going to be pointing up like that, because I remember when I had this set up on my 3X, I got better picture and no breakup with the aerial sort of going up like that on one of the legs, instead of, you would think, pointing down facing you on the floor. It worked better because I tried it like that, and for some reason, don't ask me why, but it worked better with it sorted like that than it did with the aerial straight down. So I just wanted to show you guys, this is my setup. This isn't the only FPV setup you can do for this. Some people really go to town and take the shell off, mount all of these things inside, so there's no wires and that. But I've just got, that is for that strap there is for the external battery, my 860 milliwatt. I'm probably trying to get something like 1,000 milliwatt battery, and then I might even get nearly 20 minutes of flight with one battery. But I'm trying to get a light 1000 milliamp and a slim 1000 milliamp. You know, the 610s that you get with these are really slim, but if you look at the 850 or the 860, which is only what, 250 more milliamps, the battery is like 3 times as thick and it's quite heavy. But this carries it, and even with the FPV it works fine. So that's just my setup. I took the back off because it just kept falling off, so I couldn't be bothered to put it back on, so I just left it off. But that's my setup. You can change the motors for micro warehouse motors. They're about $20 a set of 4. That was the promotional offer. They may be something like $30 to $40 now for 4, which they don't last very long, so I wouldn't waste your money. Basically, I bought them, and one of them went within 3 flights or something like that, which it shouldn't have gone that quick, and it was just a faff to send it back to Australia and all that kind of thing, so I never bothered. And just to connect the camera to the quad, I've got like this foam, double-sided foam, so I've put a little bit under the lens there, and there's a little bit under there. The wires for the camera don't come out the back, they come out from underneath, so there is an upside down and a right way round. When you mount it onto whatever, the wires have to be down for it to be the right way up. And that's it. And then that strap is just to hold it and just to keep it secure. But and a bit of, another bit of foam double-sided tape on my on the transmitter and everything. And then I just put a little bit of tape, because obviously when this gets warm it will lose its stick and it could fall off in midair, which is a bit, you know, you don't want that to happen really. And that is my setup. This was about £8 something off Banggood. The camera was under £6 off, I believe I got it from eBay. I've got loads of Lossy batteries at home, so for about £15 I got an FPV setup, and you know, it's quite a good little setup. I've ordered one of these all-in-one cameras, and I'll also try that one out as well, but that hasn't come yet. But for now, I just wanted to show you my setup. Hope you guys like this video. I'm doing it in a different place today. I thought, you know, do something a little bit different, so I've come out somewhere different, and now I'm going to do something even more different. So Gadgetman 404, continue to subscribe, like my channel, and more to come. Gadgetman 404 out.